I'm currently a resident of Altoona, Pennsylvania. I wanted to share a strange encounter I experienced with a friend of mine in the early morning hours of Sunday, March 17th of 2013. I've chosen up till now not to talk about this event due to an unwillingness to expose myself or my family and friends to public scrutiny. In light of a recent spate of similar sightings in central Pennsylvania, I've changed my mind. Perhaps our experience will help with the current research. As such, I'd like to make my intention clear that myself and any persons mentioned be able to retain anonymity at this time. You see, reporting a Bigfoot or even a UFO sighting is one thing, but this is something entirely different. On the evening in question, a friend and I were returning from a job in Williamsburg. My friend was driving. To the best of my recollection, the incident occurred somewhere between 1:30 a.m. and 2 a.m. on the morning of March 17th. Although spring was only a few days away, there was still some snow on the ground. We were traveling southwest on Route 22 through a rural suburb of Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. As we rounded a little curve in the road, our attention was drawn to our left on the opposite side of the road. Standing or semi-squatting in a clearing a few feet off the side of the road was some kind of creature. Now, my friend wasn't driving very fast and slowed a bit as we approached. Our initial view of it was from its dorsal side as it was facing away from us. It came into profile as we passed with its right side to us. It struck me immediately that the creature had a combination of both human and canine features. It was squatting down on its legs close to the ground, but was doing so in a bipedal fashion. The legs had the stifle joint of a hawk, characteristic of a canine, not like a human leg. It had its front limbs or arms in front of it, and I believe it was possibly crouched over something, maybe a smaller animal it had killed. Now, this thing's arms were long in proportion to its body. I recall thinking the hands were more human-like as opposed to paws. Its torso seemed to be somewhat hunched forward. I had the impression that at any moment it could have gone to all fours quite comfortably. The creature's chest was not broad like a human's, but had a pronounced forward angle breastbone like a canid. It gave the impression of great strength, having distinct and well-defined musculature, but was not built on a massive frame. It seemed more thin and sinewy. If it had stood fully erect, I would estimate that the creature would have been close to 7 feet tall. It was covered in fur that was grayish silver in color. The creature seemed unnaturally shiny, although this could have been a reflection from the headlights or the moon. It had pointy, erect canine ears that were somewhat laid back on its head. The head was large and very wolf-like overall in appearance. The muzzle was also very wolf-like, although the snout wasn't exceptionally elongated. It had canine teeth, though. To the best of my recollection, the eyes were an amberish color, but again, that may have been the reddish glow reflection to them. They had a wolf-like tail. It turned its head to watch us and tracked us as we passed. It seemed quite aware of our presence, and it let out a chilling howl that filled the night air. My friend and I continued in stunned silence for a few moments. When the creature was no longer in view, I turned and asked my friend what we'd just seen. His exact words were, "We just saw a fucking werewolf." I agreed that that's pretty much my own assessment. I asked if he'd turn the car around, but he absolutely refused to do so. It's probably just as well. We spent the rest of the trip debating as to whether it could have been a dog or even someone's escaped pet wolf, but to be honest, it just wasn't. I'm sure of that. Both my friend and I are experienced outdoorsmen, and neither one of us has ever seen anything fitting that description before. I was actually raised not far from the area and know it quite well. I've spoken to my friends about this, and we'd both be willing to take a polygraph concerning this incident. Since that time, I've learned that what we saw that night is what people call dog man. There's a lot being said about these creatures on the internet over the last few years. A lot of interesting stuff, and a lot of deep, steamy bullshit. But I can tell you one damn thing for sure. These creatures exist.